Some oil experts say that economic principles will play a factor into whether gas prices go up or down, and with a new administration, that could be a factor. Michael Bergsma, an oil and gas geophysicist, says gasoline prices will go up substantially and thinks the Biden administration will raise taxes on it. He says the economic principle of supply and demand directly affects gas prices. Bergsma says the pandemic did play into the supply and demand of gas, affecting its prices.
COVID will no longer be limiting travel in the U.S. and worldwide, and airline travel. The price of gasoline will go up because more demand for it.
And high gas prices are like a tax straight out of your paycheck.
Great things, and you're paying, what, $2 a gallon for your gasoline? That's okay. You know what that's like? That's like a tax cut.
And high gas prices are like a tax.
That's like a tax cut.
It was a feisty afternoon with Donald Trump, and gas prices is his top issue right now. He has some very dramatic solutions. He suggests taking away our security guarantee for Saudi Arabia, and even more radical, consider seizing the oil fields in Libya and Iraq. Take a look.
I mean, look at what's going on with your gasoline prices. They're going to go to $5, $6, $7, and we don't have anybody in Washington that calls OPEC and says, fellas, it's time. It's over. You're not going to do it anymore.
So finish this sentence. If you don't produce more oil...
Look, I'm going to look them in the eye and say, fellas, you've had your fun. Your fun is over.
I want to take another look at oil prices because we are seeing an acceleration to the downside here. Now oil off by 4%, under $63 a barrel. And this is after President Trump said in sort of off-the-cuff comments that he had called up OPEC and told them to bring gasoline prices down, oil and gasoline prices down.
In a tweet, he said, just spoke to King Salman of Saudi Arabia and explained to him that because of the turmoil and dysfunction in Iran and Venezuela, I'm asking that Saudi Arabia increase oil production, maybe up to 2 million barrels to make up the difference. Prices too high, he has agreed. And this was the effect of that tweet.
This was the effect of that tweet.
And we don't have anybody in Washington that calls OPEC and says, fellas, it's time. It's over. You're not going to do it anymore.
I noticed some folks clapped, but I know some of these big guys, they're all still driving their big SUVs. You know, they got their big monster trucks and everything. You're one of them? Well, now, here's my point. You know, if you're complaining about the price of gas and you're only getting 8 miles a gallon, you know, well, you may have a big family, but it's probably not that big. So, how many you have? 10 kids, you said? 10 kids? Well, you definitely need a hybrid van then.
The president is now thanking that country, Saudi Arabia, for the declining price of oil, saying, of course in a tweet, oil prices getting lower. That's great, like a big tax cut for America and the world. Enjoy. $54 was just $82. Thank you to Saudi Arabia, but let's go lower.
This tweet that we just looked at, the president is basically trolling them a little.
All I do is focus on this country and making great deals for this country. I don't focus on making great deals for myself because I don't care anymore. So Saudi Arabia has nothing to do with me. What does have to do with me is putting America first. I'm not going to destroy the world economy, and I'm not going to destroy the economy for our country by being foolish with Saudi Arabia. $4.54 a gallon for gas. Right on the sticker. $4.54 for gas. It's going to go much higher, folks. Get used to it. Because we have nobody that calls up OPEC, and they're only there because of us. We protect them. We have nobody that calls up OPEC and say that price better get lower, and it better get lower fast. We have nobody that does it. They want to go in and raise the price of oil because we have nobody in Washington that sits back and said, you're not going to raise that f***ing price. You understand me?
Look, I'm going to look them in the eye and say, fellas, you've had your fun. Your fun is over. OPEC and OPEC nations are, as usual, ripping off the rest of the world And I don't like it. Nobody should like it. We defend many of these nations for nothing. And then they take advantage of us by giving us high oil prices. Not good. We want them to stop raising prices. We want them to start lowering prices. And they must contribute substantially to military protection from now on.
George, let me explain something to you. We go into Iraq. We have spent thus far $1.5 trillion. We could have rebuilt half of the United States. $1.5 trillion. And we're going to then leave. So in the old days, you know, when you had a war, to the victor belong the spoils. You go in, you win the war, and you take it.
So we steal an oil
Excuse
field?
me, you're not stealing. Excuse me, you're not stealing anything. You're taking, we're reimbursing ourselves for at least, at a minimum, and I say more, we're taking back $1.5 trillion to reimburse ourselves.
So he's going to do this by force?
Well, that's what he says, but that would, of course, take thousands and thousands of U.S. troops for many, many years. It's very likely that proposal comes under a lot of fire, but he says he gets tremendous applause on the stump when he uses it.
We have more oil than anybody, okay? And it's an incredible thing that it's happened over the last few years, a lot of great things, and you're paying, what, $2 a gallon for your gasoline? That's okay. You know what that's like? That's like a tax cut. That's bigger than a tax cut. If Biden got in, you'd be paying $7, $8, $9. Didn't they say, get rid of your car?
Well, you definitely need a hybrid van then.